Not all avoidants are bad people. Many are actually very good, decent people at their core who have a good set of morals and values and truly want to do the right thing and be good people. The problem is they are very insecure people. And when they're triggered, they can become quite selfish because they're trying to protect themselves. But they're not doing these actions to hurt the other person. Of course, there are avoidants that really aren't good people, and that will show through their choice of actions. Not all avoidants will lie to you. Not all of them will cheat on you. In fact, most of them won't. Not all of them will do things like ghost you. Some of them will. Behaviors like ghosting, cheating, lying, those can also be rooted in insecurities, but these behaviors are choices. And the person who is cheating, the person who's lying, the person who's ghosting, regardless of their attachment style, they know this is not a nice thing to do to somebody else. They know this is not what decent people do. They choose those behaviors anyway. And yes, those behaviors, when they cheat on you, lie to you, ghost you, things like that, are absolutely a choice. And those behaviors are absolutely a reflection of their character, their morals, their values. But the majority of people with avoidant attachment actually don't do those behaviors. They may struggle when they're triggered, when their fears are triggered. Their fears come from childhood emotional neglect, consistent emotional neglect. They weren't given the love and the nurturing that the way that they needed as a kid. And the end result is a child that feels unlovable. Kids personalize it when they don't get love from their parents. If they don't heal those attachment wounds, they carry that to adulthood. The feeling like deep down, they're worthless, they're not lovable, they are defective. And when there's too much closeness, too much vulnerability in a relationship, their fears get triggered. And the primary fear is that the other person, their partner, is going to figure them out. In other words, they're going to figure out that the avoidant is in fact worthless, that they are in fact unlovable, that they're defective. So the way they look to protect themselves from being figured out as worthless is by keeping the other person at an emotional distance. And this can be through behaviors such as not responding to text messages very quickly, being difficult to pin down for plans, saying they're just not ready for a relationship. And that's all due to fear. And yes, when they are feeling this fear, they are concentrating on themselves. They're thinking of themselves. They're thinking of what they perceive that they want, need, feel, or fear in the moment. No, they're not considering the feelings of their partner. They are in pure self-preservation mode. But even still, not all avoidants will do overtly bad behaviors when they are triggered, like ghosting, cheating, etc. Because they still know right from wrong, and they still do have the ability to choose to behave in those ways or not. Yes, the ones who behave that way are deeply insecure, absolutely. And can they change that? Absolutely. But those behaviors, those really harmful behaviors like lying, cheating, stuff like that, are absolutely choices. Actually, there are studies on this. While avoidants are more likely to cheat in a relationship, the majority don't. 34% of them do cheat in relationships, but that means 66% of avoidants do not cheat, which proves to you that cheating is a choice. Just because someone has insecurities, that someone has fears, doesn't mean that that person has to go out and cheat. Doesn't mean they have to go out and lie. Doesn't mean they have to ghost. Those behaviors are absolutely choices. Choices that can be fueled by insecurities, but a choice nonetheless. This is an adult who is fully responsible for their actions and decisions. Now, avoidance may hurt you. They absolutely might, by pushing you away, by ending a relationship, by not considering your feelings, by not being emotionally available. But these are learned behaviors that can be unlearned. Many avoidants, really truly at their core, do not want to hurt the other person, but the problem is when they're triggered, they can't see past their own nose, and all they can think is to retreat into their shell and protect themselves. But those other behaviors that do reflect character are absolutely a choice. And don't believe otherwise, because they don't have to cheat. They don't have to ghost. They don't have to lie. The majority of them don't. It doesn't mean we make excuses for the ones that do, because they are adults. They make their own decisions.